Welcome back to Sunday Agenda. I'm Lidia Curanaj. They say there is a fine line between greatness and madness. Too bad for the left. They just keep falling short. But good thing for us because it gives us so much to talk about in Media Madness. Joining us now are the director of MRC TV, Eric Scheiner. Also with us, Republican strategist and founder of LifeFlip Media, Eric Mitchell. Thank you guys so much. Eric Mitchell, let's start off with you first. Last week, we brought you a stunning new CNN poll showing President Trump with his biggest lead over Joe Biden in the history of that very poll. The very next day, CNN's Jim Acosta, well, he didn't take the news too well.
It shows that a lot of Americans view Donald Trump's presidency as a success
and Biden's as a failure.
Which is extraordinary given the fact that 1 million people died from COVID. What's remarkable, his presidency ended with an insurrection at the Capitol.
Yeah.
Maria, how is it that Democrats have not been able to get that message across to voters and that they can't break through this short-term memory list?
Eric Mitchell, what do you think about that? I mean, it's funny. We're all both shaking our heads. He's like, oh, how could this be? And it's a CNN poll.
It's funny because we've all been saying this for 3 years. I don't know what this. I mean, we know. They're face it. They're obsessed with Donald Trump. They have been. I think that's why you're seeing people have voter fatigue, right? Because the left is just constantly obsessed with him. Is he sleeping? Have you seen what Joe Biden does on an everyday basis? And they're obsessed with January 6th, but look the other way with what's going on at a college campus every day. They're destroying property, well, more whatever was the Capitol. It's just funny to see CNN just act shocked by what the rest of America is seeing. We want results. We want our economy what it was. We don't want to pay is what we're paying for eggs. Even here in Texas, we're paying almost $4 for gas. That's horrible. Like, that's unseen. That wasn't here 4 years ago, but it sure is now with the guy we have now. It's just embarrassing. And CNN needs to turn around and go, okay, this is what America's really saying, but they just want to push and spin this horrible agenda that they have and just constantly say these lies. So it's just funny.
Yeah, and Eric Scheiner over on The View, it generally seems like they don't know if they're coming or going. Alyssa Farah Griffin points out some real possibilities that our co-hosts were not on board with, and it basically killed whatever mood they got going on there. Full disclosure, I was an intern at The View once upon a time, and I guarantee you Barbara Walters is spinning like a rotisserie chicken in her grave right now. Let's take a listen to this.
I am in such a good mood today, and I hate to raise this point, but I have to. We've got to ring some alarm bells. The election's 7 months out. My initial thought was him being on trial and in a courtroom and not on the campaign trail was going to hurt him. I'm starting to think that it doesn't in the same way because he's not out there saying crazy things. They see violence and they see protests on college campuses. They see young people calling Joe Biden Genocide Joe, and it scares people. He could pick up all the demographics you generally need, but lose young progressives and lose the election to Donald Trump. That's where we are.
But you said you were in a good mood.
No, and I said I'm sorry. I know I'm sorry to bring the mood down with my take, but I'm very worried.
But what's the good mood about?
That I just happen to be in one.
What do you want? Some kind of drug or something?
I know.
Wow, asking her if she's on drugs because she's giving out facts. Eric Scheiner, what do you think?
Well, you probably have to be on some good drugs to go on The View these days in modern times. Look, she's surprised by the fact that President Trump is doing well, even though he's in the courtroom. But look at the split screen. Joe Biden's out there campaigning, and no one's really covering it. He's talking about his uncle that was eaten by cannibals. He's reading the word pause. He's claiming to be a truck driver. He's claiming that he was a professor at a university. All these things that are blatantly not true. So the media's not really focusing on Joe Biden. So Trump is back in the limelight. He's taking the breaks during these court hearings. I'm not surprised at all. I'm just surprised that they finally just now discovered that drugs makes The View, a little less painful to be the eighth circle of Dante's hell, I think.
Maybe it's the same kind of drugs they got to give to Joe Biden to get him all energized. Eric Mitchell, Drew Barrymore, she was a really cute kid. Remember, she was in E.T., but that cuteness isn't really translating into adulthood, and she's kind of cringy during her talk show. I want you to take a look at this really cringe moment with Kamala Harris.
We really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now. Yeah. But in our country, we need you to be Momla of the country.
Why does she talk so close to people too? Have you noticed that? And then she sits cross-legged, and then then Kamala Harris actually blamed her cackle on sexism and her mom. I mean, I don't know. Eric Mitchell, what do you think about this Momla thing, Kamala Harris? You think the world wants Kamala Harris to come back?
No. I mean, what experience does she have with parenting, period? I'm sorry, but I'll put it out there. No, we don't need her to do anything. I don't know what she does. I mean, if she's the border czar, if that's her results, you need to have drugs to watch this show too, apparently. And I don't know what Drew's on. She was great in E.T., but I don't know what this show is. She also had the Bud Light thing with, that whole joke. I mean, It's like I didn't even know she was still relevant until I saw this clip on social media this week, because I certainly don't watch the show, but it's just crazy. I mean, the country needs you. No, we're good. We're doing good. I mean, we already have her failure of a boss, so we're good. No, please.
Eric Scheiner, we're going to end on this one. You remember when Robert De Niro was actually a good fella? Well, it's been so long to remember him actually being sensible. And here he is with Stephanie Ruhle this week. What made him, what for him was apparently a bold promise. I want you to take a listen to this.
He's sick. He is really, genuinely a sick person that somehow has been allowed into our system. And I'm tired of calling him names.
So he's obviously talking about President Trump. He has an extreme form of Trump derangement syndrome. He says he doesn't want to call Trump any names anymore. And then you see what he does he does it throughout the entire interview, calling him names. Real quick, let's listen to this.
He's so, as we all know, so narcissistic and self-centered. The guy's a monster. I don't think they really understand. And historically, from what I see, even in Nazi Germany, they had it with Hitler. They don't take him serious. He looks like a clown, acts like a clown. Mussolini, same thing. These guys, I don't know why, they look like clowns.
Do I look funny like a clown to you? Ha, ha, ha. Remember that line? Eric, wait, get your shoebox. Eric Scheiner, we got 30 seconds to you. What do you think?
All right. Well, who's more narcissistic than a Hollywood actor that stands up at award shows and says things like F Trump like he has in the past? This is ridiculous. Notice he can't point to a single policy issue that he disagrees with Trump. It's just, oh, well, he looks like a clown. Oh, he's like Mussolini. This is the problem that you see with the left. It's all just name calling, but there's no real substance to their argument. Why don't you like Trump? I didn't really hear a good reason from him.
Nope. Excellent point there. Gentlemen, we have to leave it right there. As always, enjoyable media madness. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Turning to the church, people are being